So hello everybody, I'm David. We're currently in the mezzanine of the restoration hangar. I'm the president of the museum and also in charge of displays. We're going to talk a little bit about how we do displays in the museum. So this story starts here with a picture of a Supermarine Stranraer aircraft that we were given last year. And now we've got two problems. Number one, how do we finish this aircraft? And two, how do we display it? So we found one of our members who's an experienced radio control modeler. He's going to finish this aircraft for us. And now we'll go downstairs and have a look about how we might display this aircraft. So here we are downstairs at the entrance to the restoration hangar, just off the main hangar. This area was dedicated to firefighting. We had several large aircraft up here. As you can see, we're redecorating, going from a lovely peach colour to a nice bright white colour. We were going to hang the Stranraer aircraft up here because we seem to have plenty of room. We had a Stranraer propeller and some pictures over there, so it seemed a good place. Then we thought about it for a while and thought, well, it doesn't really fit. And because it's so large, it's going to obscure the Martin Mars here. So we had another idea. So if you want to come over this way, I'll show you now what we're going to do now. We're now moved over to the other side of the main hangar where we have our air radio station and some other civilian airliner displays. So we have put the Stranraer propeller up on the wall here. We redecorated this entire area, painted it when we redecorated the washroom so it's nice and bright and fresh. The Stranraer, a very important aircraft in the history of the BC coast. 40 were built for the Royal Canadian Air Force. They operated on the coast from Patricia Bay here right up to Prince Rupert. And after the war, 5 of them were used by Queen Charlotte Airlines, also known as the Queer Collection of Aircraft, and for passenger work up and down the coast. So we feel the Stranraer will fit very nicely in this space. We'll move the Norseman backwards. We'll have a nice, clean, well-decorated area with the Stranraer model, the Stranraer propeller, some pictures of the Stranraer, and some history to explain what it's all about.
I'm Rob Atton, a member of the British Aviation Museum, and I got started on this model just over a year ago when it arrived from Nanaimo. Jim Barr was the builder of the model. The fuselage was complete, and I got the job of putting the wings on and various other bits and pieces to repair. I can't measure the hours I spent on this, but it was just about a year or so, and not all of that time was working on the model because I had to resource getting the spare parts. The hobby of model airplanes has changed so much in recent years that it's very difficult to get stuff to build models, and it took several months, early part of the year, to get everything together to carry on building. This model was the way it was beautifully built. The fuselage was complete, the wings were partially complete but uncovered, and various other bits and pieces needed shaping and putting in position, and the whole thing had to come together carefully. It's quite a substantial model.
Okay, it's now January 2021, and as much as any project is completed, we're nearing the completion of the rehabilitation of this area on the north side of the main hangar. So the idea was to get the Stranraer highlighted, and we're lucky enough on the far side here to be loaned a float from a Stranraer. This was from RCAF machine 915, which served in Ucluelet and up in the Central Coast in Bella Bella. Then it was sold off to Queen Charlotte Airlines, and flew with them for a few years before crashing in 1949 on Belize Inlet up on the Central Coast. It was eventually recovered and is now on loan to the museum and forms a nice part of our Stranraer display. And here we have the Wright Cyclone 1820 that was installed on these Stranraers by Queen Charlotte Airlines to make them a more efficient aircraft. And this kind of finishes nicely and wraps up the display with the model we installed earlier, the float and the engine. It's great when museums can get together. This cabinet here is one of 3 that was given to us by the local museum in Sydney when it became surplus to their needs. And we've been able to use it to highlight the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan, which was carried out during World War II to train air crews. Some 131,000 people were trained here in Canada, using 10,000 different aircraft in 107 schools from one side of the country to the other. We trained Canadian aircrew, British, Australia, New Zealand and other Commonwealth countries, and these people made a huge contribution to the effort that was required to win World War II. So to conclude our description of this area of the BC Aviation Museum, on my left side here is the air radio station, showing how pilots were communicated with a while ago. And on my right side is the entrance to the library. You can see we're busy painting and redecorating in the library. We currently have about 7,000 volumes in the library of aviation-related material. We're repainting, redecorating, recarpeting to allow for expansion, and we think that in the next few years we'll be up around 10,000 volumes. Members can come in and check out this library. We are a lending library to members, and other people are allowed to come in and do research and use this facility. So I'm standing beneath the large model of the Stranraer that we have completed, and on the wall here we have one of the original propellers. They were originally wooden propellers. 2 two-bladed propellers went together to make one 4-bladed propeller for each engine, and these were then replaced with 3-bladed metal propellers. Queen Charlotte Airlines took over the Stranraers when they were made surplus from the Royal Canadian Air Force, and QCA may stand for Queen Charlotte Airlines, but it also stood for Queer Collection of Aircraft, the accidental airline that served the BC coast and kind of grew out of a one person's dream to try and connect all of the BC coast together.